You were told that being exceptional at your job would protect you. You believed that doing more, faster, better, would eventually get noticed. So you delivered. Every single time, without fail. And somehow, you're still exactly where you started. The person who got promoted wasn't even close to your output. The person they rely on most hasn't moved in 3 years. That person is probably you. Here's the part nobody tells you: being too good is a trap. Think about the last time you solved a problem nobody else could. You fixed it quietly, efficiently, and moved on to the next thing. Your manager breathed a sigh of relief and gave you another problem. Not a raise, not a title, another problem. Because here's what actually happened in that moment. You didn't prove your value, you proved your availability. You showed the system that you could be loaded further without breaking. And the system responded the only way systems do it: loaded you further. Meanwhile, the colleague who struggled loudly got a mentor assigned. The one who asked questions got visibility in front of leadership. The one who said, "I need support on this," got a team built around them. You got silence. Because silence is what competence earns. Nobody rescues the person who never seems to need rescuing. Your excellence made you invisible in the exact way that costs you everything. You probably noticed this dynamic but explained it away. You told yourself the right people would eventually see your contributions, or that patience was a virtue and your moment was coming. But time kept passing and the math never worked out in your favor. Here's what you were actually experiencing without a name for it. Organizations don't reward value, they reward perceived replaceability. The people who rise are the ones leadership fears losing visibly. You were never feared to be lost because you never signaled you might leave. You showed up, delivered, and asked for nothing, which trained everyone around you. It trained them to expect everything and offer nothing back. Your consistency became their comfort, and comfort kills urgency. Nobody fights to keep something they believe will always be there. And this is where it gets worse. Your reputation for reliability is now working against your reputation for growth. When a new opportunity opens, they think of you last, not first, because in their mind, you're too essential exactly where you are. This is the part nobody tells you, so pay close attention. There is an invisible economy running inside every organization you've ever worked in. It has nothing to do with performance reviews or job descriptions. It is entirely about who controls perception, access, and narrative. The people rising in your company have mastered this economy without naming it. They are not smarter than you. They are more legible to the people with power. Legibility means this: leadership can easily picture them in a bigger role, and that picture is built from signals, not spreadsheets. Every time you solved a problem silently, you sent 0 signals. Every time you stayed late without anyone knowing, you sent 0 signals. Every time you absorbed extra work without resistance, you confirmed your ceiling. Because the signal you kept sending was, "I am a resource, not a rising leader." Resources get utilized. Leaders get invested in. Those are 2 completely different things. The system isn't cruel, it's just reading the data you keep giving it. And you've been giving it the wrong data for years. Now here's the mechanism that locks this in place. When you're extremely good at your current job, a strange thing happens in leadership's mind. Moving you feels risky to them, not rewarding. They start calculating what they would lose by promoting you, not what they would gain. Your competence in one role becomes the argument against your ascent to the next. This is called the competency trap, and it swallows high performers whole. The trap works like this: the better you perform, the more indispensable you seem. The more indispensable you seem, the more dangerous it feels to move you. So you stay. And every quarter you stay, the trap tightens slightly. Your identity inside the organization solidifies around your current function. And once an identity solidifies, organizations stop imagining you differently. They don't see a future leader, they see the person who handles that thing perfectly. That perception, once set, takes extraordinary effort to break. You might be thinking this doesn't apply to you because your manager appreciates you. Appreciation and advocacy are not the same thing. Your manager appreciates your output the way someone appreciates a reliable appliance. That's not the relationship that builds careers. It's the relationship that stalls them. The people being advocated for behind closed doors share a specific trait. They've made their ambition visible, uncomfortable, and impossible to ignore. They've created a quiet pressure not by demanding, but by signaling scarcity. You've done the opposite. You've made yourself feel permanent and stable. Permanent and stable doesn't generate urgency in the people making decisions. It generates comfort, and comfort makes people postpone conversations indefinitely. Here's what that looks like in a real meeting you'll never be in the room for. Someone mentions your name and the response is, "Oh, we can't move them. They're critical." That sentence sounds like a compliment. It is not a compliment. It is a ceiling being installed in real time by people who genuinely like you. And the terrible irony is the harder you work, the lower that ceiling gets. Because every exceptional result reconfirms why you must stay exactly where you are. Now, let's go one layer deeper, because the system is only half the problem. The other half is what high performers believe about visibility. Most people who are too good at their jobs were rewarded for it early. In school, in early roles, effort plus output produced recognition, so it became a strategy. You learned that doing the work was enough, because for a long time it was. But organizations operate on a completely different logic than classrooms do. In a classroom, the evaluator sees everything and grades accordingly. In an organization, the evaluators only see what surfaces in the right conversations. Everything that doesn't surface simply does not exist in their decision-making. This is not unfair. It is structural. The system was not designed to find you. It was designed to respond to whoever creates enough friction to demand attention. And here is the deep psychological truth that most high performers resist. Making yourself visible feels like self-promotion, and self-promotion feels wrong to you. It feels like bragging, like politics, like compromising the purity of good work. So you stay quiet and keep working, believing the results will speak for themselves. But results are mute. They do not walk into rooms and make arguments on your behalf. The people who speak for your results are the ones who get credit for your results. And right now, someone else might be doing exactly that with your work. The shift that changes everything is not about working less. That's not the point. The shift is understanding what game you're actually supposed to be playing. You've been playing the execution game with perfect discipline and zero strategy. The people moving up are playing the positioning game alongside the execution game. Positioning means controlling how your work is interpreted, not just whether it's completed. It means letting the right people witness the right moments, not by accident. It means making your ambition a known quantity before opportunity becomes available. It means occasionally being visibly challenged, so growth becomes part of your narrative. None of this is manipulation. It is the basic language of organizational systems. You've been fluent in delivery and illiterate in the language that actually drives decisions. The moment you understand this, your past frustration finally makes sense. You weren't being overlooked because you weren't good enough, you were illegible. The most dangerous place in any organization is being perfectly placed and perfectly silent. Because from that position, the system has no reason to imagine you anywhere else. Your next move is not to work harder. it is to become harder to predict. Create moments where your absence would be felt before your value gets taken for granted. Let your ambition become part of how people describe you, not a secret you're protecting. The goal is not to stop being good, it's to stop letting good be the only thing they see. You were never the problem. The signal was, now you know what to change.